Welcome to another design download. Today we're going through the LCS shop truck, which is a 40 series cab on an 80 series chassis with a Harrop blown LS, Atlas transfer and a pretty serious suspension setup. This car is really similar to what we're doing on the channel at the moment for George's build. If you want to know more, stick around because we're going to go through this thing in detail. All right, we're down here with Laurie from LCS 4x4 and Laurie's going to tell you a bit about the history of this car.
This car originated, I had many years ago, we're probably talking 12, 13 years ago, I had a FJ40 coil sprung. It was ridiculous. I got so many defects in it. I bought an 80 series landcruiser for 2,000 bucks and it was the car that I was never going to modify to, so I had a daily driver and this is that car. So it's now had like 4 different bodies. It went through a wagon, V8 swapped it, we ute chopped it, we put a 40 series body, another 40 series body, and now another 40 series body with a custom chassis. Like, this car is how I suppose we have R&D'd and like developed like LCS into what it is today. And this is the latest banger. And
so we're going to cut this one up and go again?
I don't know, man. From my first 4080, like we pulled it down just to do like a falling career end, and we ended up building a custom chassis, new engine, new box, new transfer, new diffs. Like, this one here, I want to drive it. I want to take it around Australia and just wheel the shit out of it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's get into some of those details, and we'll start at the front end. Yeah. Alrighty, Loz, talk us through this bar and winch setup.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, this is inspired by I suppose, Richie, how many years? 3 years ago, we designed like this sort of style bar together. We've kind of developed it further. So this is to suit the red. We've since, from our original designs, we've now got like a raised height version of this bar. This is also a little bit of one-off to suit the custom chassis, which I suppose we'll talk about shortly. But yeah, I mean, still raised height LCS bar. We are now building these to suit like high mount, plus 76, plus 100, like for the GPs, reds and low mount winches to suit 40, 4580s and 40 chassis.
Yep, and tell us about this winch. Like, obviously, there's a bit of footage on my channel which has come out recently, and it was us sort of wheeling through New South Wales, and this thing's a bit of a weapon.
Yeah, I know. Like, the tracks that we're sort of taking these cars on, well, regardless of how capable the car's on, like, there are tracks we drive that you're going to be winching and cars break down. So we went with the red. We're running 24 volt. We've got 4 batteries in the back feeding this, and it's pretty hard to go back once you've set that. It's an absolute belter of a winch. I mean, you've got the footage towing Milton's car up that hill in Lithgow. It's unbelievable. Yeah,
it's like running pace up the hills. It's very cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Talk us through some of this bar work as well. Like, it's pretty angry looking front.
I suppose this is pretty standard on a lot of the cars we do now. It's angry. We've got a few features of it. I mean, this bar, a couple of things it does, like it ties in off the tube guard, so a heavy hit to either of the guards. We've also got a centre support across. Also, in the case of a rollover between like this bar and the XO bar, we typically 90% of the time we'll save the body on a heavy roll, and you know, it's you aim not to, but this car's been over a few times.
Yeah.
We kind of build them so we can get them back on their wheels and drive out of there.
You know, there's a lot of detail at this front end that I'm just going to point out. There's this steady, like it's like a rock light, and it's just pointed at the winch, and that's just, you know, for your navy basically to...
Yeah, that's right. Front and rear winch, like we got work lights all around the vehicle, so Steady's rock lights, they're killer. So at night time, you're working your winch at night, you're stuck knee deep in mud or worse, and to have that light over that work area is priceless.
And what about this grill? Like, that's another special one as well.
Yeah,
that's your doing.
Yeah, well, I suppose this was a prototype. We're now like productionising those. So late model 40 series grill suits the factory early badge, which I mean, the early badges are heaps nicer than the later plastic ones, in my opinion. We do some fun, like little details, like we lift the badge up a little bit higher to suit the high mount winches. I suppose a big upgrade for any of the old 40 series is the headlights. I mean, these things, you may as well have candles from factory. So we're running the Steady 7-inch headlights here. They're amazing, ADR approved. I mean, this car is going through engineering at the moment, and these things, high, low beam, are absolutely spectacular. Pretty cool feature of this car, something that I've been sort of planning out and working towards. We've done versions of this before, would be like the Exo bar. So you might have seen, like Richie and I have developed like a windscreen hinge delete plate. That originated from wanting to design this part. So from the hinge delete, we then have this bolt-on bracket which runs like a rubber bush mount here, something similar to like your trailing arm. So we can then run this Exo bar. 40 series cabins really good. They're narrow at the sill height, but they're actually quite wide at the roof line. And driving some of the technical tracks we do, we hit the roof pretty commonly. So having this bar to protect your gutter line, in the case of like if you were to lean it over, roll it over to protect the body, these are pretty strong. It also allows us mounting all the steady lights up here. This thing turns night into day. It's killer.
We're just going to flash up some New South Wales footage here, and Harrow was running an Exo cage on his. Laurie didn't have it on at the time, and you can just see how handy it was. Really, really good for protecting the roof. Alrighty, Loz, there's a little bit going on in this rear end. Tell us about it.
First and foremost, we've got to fit all these batteries in the car to have a decent 24 volt system to run the front and rear winches. So these batteries are super heavy. Like I think we're talking about, I think they're about 35 kilos a piece. So there's 4 batteries there to make up the 24 volt system. And then we've also got the 12 volt Optima there for running the car. So we make a focus on mounting these as low and as central as possible with this, consideration for weight distribution. In the back, we've obviously also got the trans cooler, the radiator. A big focus on separating the coolers as best we can. You would have seen we've got the heat exchanger for the supercharger in the front, to try and make each cooler as efficient as possible at cooling. I mean, the car, it's doing a really good job of that. We drive without having to watch gauges, regulates temperature fantastic. The radiator here, we built this with our buddy Jeremy at Kraken Engineering. It's a monster. Twin 16-inch thermo fans there, and then we've done the TIG welded stainless steel rad lines, which work a treat. Electric water pump, which is tucked down underneath there. Packaging exhaust in this car was pretty tight. Running the 5-link front meant that we couldn't run the exhaust internal of the chassis rail as we usually would. What we've done is we've packaged a twin 3-inch system. We've got resis under each sill. So that's a 2-into-1. We've got the MagnaFlow here, which is the 3 into a single 3.5-inch out. It keeps it pretty respectable. This thing cruises down the highway. It doesn't make too much noise. It can if you get excited, it makes the right noises, but it's quite respectful considering what the car is, I suppose you'd say. A cool feature of the car is that what we've managed to package the driveline to have equal length drive shafts front and rear. When you're sort of hard wheeling a car like this in the rocks especially, it's not, it doesn't happen all the time, but it's not uncommon to smack a rock and bust a tail shaft. We managed to package a third shaft in the back here, and that tail shaft that can be used in either the front or the rear of the vehicle, which is absolutely priceless. If you're on a big trip a long way away from home, and you can do quick repairs on the trail. Matt and the guys at GJ Drivelines, and they look after us really well. Their stuff's spectacular. Fuel cell in the back that we built with our mates at Kraken Engineering. We're running the Raceworks surge tank here. We've got 2 pressure pumps internal to there. The ECU controls them independently of each other. It's smart. It's a pretty clever system. It'll run one or the other. If you have a failure on one pump, it'll automatically fire the other pump. Which is pretty cool. Fuel pumps do fail. So instead of just running the cap on the radiator itself, the rear mount radiator systems, we've done a fair few of them over the years, and early days I had my fair share of problems with airlocks, etc. We choose to run a header tank on these systems, which is significantly higher than the radiator, and then we can run various bleed off lines to the header tank. to negate any airlock problems. We also run steam ports and bleed offs on the front of the system. It makes it really easy to bleed, and we have no issues whatsoever with the cooling system in this car. The 24 volt system, as we know, we've got the runner in the back, the red in the front. It's a fair amount of power running either way. What we do is we've put in isolators. So we're running twin feeds to the front winch. So we've got isolators in the back wall here that can be activated from inside the cabin, and then for the rear winch we've got another isolator here. Just knowing that when the winches are not in use, we have these turned off to know if you're simply if you're working on the vehicle, you drop a spanner across a terminal by accident, you do that to the 24 volt, you're gonna know about it. We just keep it all as safe as we possibly can.
Righto, Loz. So onto the rear end now. Tell us a little bit about this style side.
This style side is not the most efficient use of space. This is on for aesthetic purposes only, and I mean, I love it. I suppose what we focus on at LCS is, as ridiculous as this car is and how heavily modified it is to try and keep that, original aesthetic of the original Toyota Land Cruiser. I mean, this thing drives down the road. There's no questioning its originality of what it was. I mean, it's modified. The style side is a big thing for me. I love it. Rob Sawyer from Sawyer Metalcraft, he makes these panels for us. He makes these tubs in original form. He also presses up these panels and tailgates for what we're building here. And I think they really top off the car. It takes it from looking like a winch truck to something that's somewhat respectable from the outside. They're wrapped around. These panels are quickly removed. They're wrapping around all this bar work that we've put here, which has multiple purposes. One, protecting the vehicle wheel arches, and then the roll bar here as well.
Anyone's been following along on the channel for the other build, George's build that we're doing, it has one of these style sides, and to see these panels in the bare form makes you appreciate the amount of work that goes into it. Rob has hand formed all these press tools to make these things, and it's super, super impressive. So I'm gonna flash up some shots of the bare metal, and everyone who I show it to is just mega, mega impressed, because this is made in Melbourne. This is not, something out of China. I just absolutely love it as well.
We've designed the bar work around the rear here to suit the style side. It protects the corners of the panel work. What it also does is it houses the rear winch. So we're running the Runver winch in here. We're feeding that thing 24 volts as well. I installed this winch for you, Rich.
Yeah.
I think you've used it more than me.
We'll flash back to the New South Wales series there.
Yeah, it's actually the first car I've had with a rear winch, and I never really saw the huge need. I thought you put them on the back of a ute because they look cool, but since having this here, I think we've used it every single time we've gone filming.
And just as a caveat to that, you've used it to recover people, not because you're in trouble, right?
Well, I've got myself in strife once or twice as well. And on that point, I mean, one of the boys I work with here, Hayden, we went out for an early morning solo run recently, and we got into a pretty sticky spot. Something we would have just pulled through with a front winch previously, but we would have trowed the side of the car. We actually, having the rear winch allowed us to use both winches at the same time and pull the car sideways, and we saved doing a whole lot of damage. It's something you don't realise how useful it can be until you've got one, I suppose.
That's it, yeah.
And man, this thing hauls like it. On the Lithgow trip, we pulled cars back on Chris's car. Chris had a little lapse in talent, rolled his car over, and we pulled him back up with it as well. It just makes it for safe and easy recoveries.
Run us through the interior, Loz.
Simplicity is what we're shooting for here. So anyone who follows your stuff, Rich, or mine, they would have seen that we do the floor and trans tunnel replacement. So we build these 40s. They're pretty common. They got rust. So also with all the different engine gearbox combos we put in, they never fit in the standard tunnel. So we cut the whole floor out. We manufacture these floor and trans tunnel kits, which make it super easy for any engine conversion. So we've thrown in a floor kit. We've got the custom sheet metal dash. We manufacture and sell these for any engine conversion. When say you're running an aftermarket dash or ECU, these make it super, super easy. So the 3 removable panels. So what we've got is we're running the Haltech R5 ECU, PD16s. We've got the UC10 dash, and we've got 2 of the keypads here. This car's all running through. It's all CAN bus, so no fuses, no relays in the car whatsoever. All programmable. It's an absolute absolute dream. So Mitch from Maculek wired the car. He did a spectacular job. I mean, if you're talking Haltech, like he's your go-to guy. We're using him for heaps of jobs now. We've got the shifters here, so these are your transfer case shifters. So we've got the planetary gear set on the 4-speed, and then we've got the front rear disconnect. So we've got the option of 3-to-1, 3.8-to-1, or so you could put everything in low and see something stupid like 10-to-1. You'd never use it, but this transfer case is the real deal in a car like this. It changes, it really changes the game. Turbo 400, you know, very basic manualised shifter. We've got all switches here for our air lockers, compressor, and air free spool. And then through here we've got all our switching winches, front rear winch, and all the tricky bits you get from Haltech. I mean, this car has more than you need. Cruise control. The thing has bloody cruise control. It's ridiculous.
And George's build is going to be similar in the way it's wired.
George's car is going to be very similar, yeah. So same dash and similar switching. I mean, George has a heap of extra electronics on his. The way that we can program, I mean, I can jump on my phone, Bluetooth over to this thing, and we can configure the ECU on the fly. It's already proven to be an absolute game changer for us. We're out of Moreton Island recently, and we had some dramas. We just got on the phone, and we fixed the thing up straight away. We can play with the fueling. We can do all sorts of things. It offers a lot of freedom on calibration. Absolutely. We're running the Mastercraft seats. I've been running these in the last few builds. They're killer. We're going through testing at the moment. This car will be engineered and registered with these seats legally in Victoria. We've done the collapsible steering column as required. I suppose a couple of things you don't see here, which is worth mentioning, that under these seats we've been pretty clever with how we package. So we've got the twin air compressor, we've got air tanks, all of our air manifold solenoids for front rear winches, lockers. What else are we running under here? The packaging is spectacular. We've got our 1224 charger underneath as well. So packaging number one, and everything's very modular. You can still pull this seat frame out to service or fix, replace, whatever you need to do in 2 seconds. Worth noting, I mean, there's a lot going on under here. We've used the car builders got their TXT paint, so we've got the textured paint here, which is good for sound and heat. LCS door cards. So we've been making these with our mate Shannon from C5 Systems for some years now. So the original vinyl cards, you know, if you use these cars off-road pretty heavily, you're going to kick the shit out of them with your dirty boots. You'll tear the vinyl, you know, in no time. So Shannon machines these up out of ABS plastic for us. He then mills in all the textures to make them, you know, to show that original form. We offer them with both the LCS logo, and we also offer them with an original style design as well. And they've proven to be a really, really cool product.
Time to have a look at one of the party pieces of this build, the suspension. Alrighty, Loz, let's go through the front suspension. Pretty standard, is it?
There is nothing standard about this thing. Probably the most unique thing about this car, and compared to what we've done previously, is the suspension, the chassis works. So we're running 5-link front end, pretty long arms as well. We're running the same length arms front to rear, so lowers and uppers are all interchangeable, so we can carry minimal spare parts if we say we want to go racing in this car. Not that we plan on breaking any of them. Yeah, so we're running a parallel 5-link front, so parallel links with a panhard rod, running torsional sway bars. We're working on all these parts with our mate Cameron at Stavweld Engineering. He's machining up everything for us. It's absolutely phenomenal. 7075 steering links as well, and the hydro bumps, King 2.5 coilovers. We're running 14s front and rear. It works. Yeah, this thing twists. I don't know if we mentioned earlier, like we've built this car pretty light. It's weighing well under 2.5 tonne. I think we're about just over 2.4 tonne, and we're within 10 kilos of a 50-50 weight distribution in it. So front and rear suspension, there's no limitations other than shock length on suspension travel. So it's stable. It runs through the undulating tracks really well. I think you can see that in a lot of your other videos.
Yeah, that's it. I'll flash up some footage, and yeah, it looks really planted off-road.
We've done a triangulated four-link rear. I suppose probably the four-link, I think we know the benefits of four-link. I mean, without getting rid of that panhard rod with significant wheel travel, we see some serious benefits, especially at speed, but also without limiting articulation, it's a no-brainer. What probably is a bigger improvement to this chassis than the, say, coilovers or the link suspension would be the clearancing we've done. So we've taken inspiration from, say, how you'd do like a C-notch in a mini truck, for example, to get a car super low. We've taken that to a four-wheel drive where we've reshaped the chassis front and rear. What we've done is we've stretched the wheelbase 150 mil. We've also raised the chassis height at the axle by only 75 mil, but the combination of these things and clearancing where the lower links would typically hit the chassis, what we're able to achieve is an extra 200 mil of up travel. So keeping this car with a reasonably decent ride height, we're gaining 200 mil more up travel, plus the benefit of a 14-inch coilover. We're getting good dropout as well. This thing, you know, we can sit at a good ride height without being sitting on the bump stops like you would typically.
We're doing another build on the channel at the moment, and the rear end is extremely similar. So we've gone through the frame clearancing process and then the design of the triangulated four-link. And if you want to see that, make sure you click the link in the bio below, because we go into all this stuff in a lot of detail. Alrighty, Loz, I'm a little bit uneducated on LSs, so tell us a bit about what's under the hood.
Okay, yeah, no, we've got the LS3 here. We've got the Harrop 2300 blower on top. The thing's a pretty standard motor. Aside from the supercharger, it makes good power. It's reasonably economical considering. We've mated that to turbo 400 transmission. That is a Ford pattern manualised box with engine braking. A reasonably large converter. We don't have a nasty camshaft in this. We don't need it with the blower. So this thing's pretty nice. It makes plenty of torque down low, and it crawls really well also. We've got that mated to an Atlas 4-speed transfer case. That's probably one of the key features of the car. We've got endless options on gear ratios from 1-to-1 high. We can choose either a 3-to-1 or a 3.8-to-1 low range with front rear disconnect. You can control the front and rear drive independently of each other. So we can put this thing into front wheel drive only for, if you want to take it rock crawling and go do digs with it. So like we've spoken about at the rear, how we've sort of split up all the coolers in the vehicle as best we can to make sure that they're all as efficient as they possibly can be. We've got a heat exchanger in the front here. It's a radiator big enough to cool the engine itself, but that's solely to a heat exchanger for the supercharger. That's running twin 12-inch fans. Those fans are then controlled off either intake air temp or the coolant temperature in that cooler. It's super efficient. We keep, supercharger's pretty good at making hot air. We keep really good intake air temps, especially when we're working the motor hard in slow speed. When we're working at hard, slow speed, say like in the rocks, we've got a power steering cooler, which is tucked up above that there as well. The brake setup in the car is it's pretty conventional. Like we're running an 80 series master cylinder booster. The rear is just your GU brakes, new calipers or rebuilt as we always would. The front, we've done an upgrade to a 200 series landcruiser caliper on a much larger rotor, and this car's seeing like exceptional. We've been through its brake and swerve testing already, and it really excelled in its brake fade test results.
Want a struck kit here? It's a good one, pretty popular one. I reckon, I don't know how many hundred we've sold, but definitely one of our more popular products.
It's probably one of the most basic parts that we've designed and made together. But it's we should give a shout out to Steve at Warrigal Exhaust, mate. He inspired this design and has helped us with it. And it's a killer product.
It is. It certainly is. Alrighty, that brings us to the end of the design down low. Laurie has put in thousands of hours into this car on little details that I can't really even show on the camera, or the camera won't do it justice, but take my word for it, this car is extremely well built, and it's something to aspire to. We're obviously doing a very similar build on the channel at the moment, which is George's build, except it's a different driveline and it's got a different sort of front end suspension on it, but it is an extra cab. What we do in that build series is cover a lot of the processes and the manufacturing and the fab work that we do to sort of make a car like this. There are definitely some different features on that build, but if you want to see more of this sort of stuff, make sure you check out the links in the description below. Cheers for watching.